Beyond the Bylines, Joe Starkey and myself, Tim Benz, with you here at Trib Live. Glad that you're with us. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you to everybody at the Fans First Network. Morty, what's your crisis of the day? How come you couldn't find the link? What happened?
Because you didn't send it.
Chris sent it. You're actually on the email. I can see it right now. Did we go to spam? Did you spam us?
It must have happened. I couldn't find it. I didn't see it. You're the first person I've spoken to this morning. My voice is hoarse and my stomach hurts.
All right, those are two crises right there. So what's wrong with you? What do you think? Is this acid reflux? Is that the combination? You're having a bad stomach and a bad throat at the same time?
Yeah, something's wrong. I was up half the night with heartburn pacing around. I hate that feeling. So if I have to leave briefly and come back, that's just going to have to happen this morning.
What are you drinking to make yourself feel better? That's what I'm worried about. Like, do you have the right formula to fix your stomach?
No.
Oh, all right.
If I knew what was wrong, I'd fix it. Isn't that what they always say in sports?
That's what the coaches say. I was hoping for a better quote out of you.
No, if I knew what was wrong, I'd fix it. Instead, I sit here with something's wrong. I don't know what, but it's not going to hamper me. I'm going to play hurt. I have a nice cup of hot water with honey for my throat.
Well, we'll get to our upon further review and get moving here since you have limited time, apparently. Where should we start, Joe? Should we start with the Ben Roethlisberger, Marquise Pouncey, James Harrison, Joey Porter four-way dance? I think at some point 20 years from now, maybe we could start doing it from 20 years ago when you last worked at the Trib. We should just air all of our dirty laundry about people that used to work at the Trib. Maybe we should do that right now, the way that the Steelers are doing.
Man, this is incredible, but for our business, it's great, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
I'm loving every minute of it. The whole thing is based. It's a farce that's based on a faulty premise. Ben, if anything, has been very kind to Mike Tomlin, but Joey Porter goes on and talks about Ben as if he's revealing secrets, as if he's personally attacking Tomlin, as if he's degrading him, as if he's coming out of nowhere with unjust criticism. All Ben said was, it might be time for, what did he say? To clean house. It might be time to clean house. I have a lot of respect for Coach Tomlin, but this might be the time, and it might be good for him too. Like, that's the attack that this is based on? What are we doing here?
Well, not only that, but also, this is Joey Porter throwing stones from a glass house when it comes to character assassination. I know Porter didn't say anything about the reasons why he got suspended in 2010. He didn't directly say it. But when you say a guy isn't a good person, people aren't going to stop at what you float out there about not signing footballs for veterans as a rookie. They're going to go to that next step, which, of course, everybody did. And if we're talking about off the field stuff, or we're talking about not being a good teammate, maybe getting yourself kicked out of a football game 6 minutes before kickoff because you're fighting William Green isn't a good thing to do as a teammate. Maybe wandering on the field and potentially risking the Steelers getting penalized as well as the Bengals, which didn't happen, fortunately, is not being a good coach. So, Porter put himself out there for scrutiny while in the process of putting Ben out there on blast. And furthermore, if we're talking about hypocrisy here, you're the one that's airing dirty laundry right now while complaining about other people airing dirty laundry. Don't you get that? You're talking about not grabbing a microphone and talking about Steeler business, and you're holding a microphone talking about Steeler business.
The whole thing is laughable. Or sad. I'm not sure which.
It's a little sad. I don't think people like it when mommy and daddy fight in public. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Steelers want to portray themselves as one big happy family forever. And my God, if this is the stuff that comes out 20 years later, what was it like in that room way back when? Don't you have to ask that question? I don't care. Go ahead.
I think people did ask that question when Ben was, young, and everybody had questions about his leadership qualities. And eventually, to your point, like you talked about on the air, his ultimate leadership was winning, was getting championships.
Yeah.
But, the off the field stuff, I think we all wondered about that because it was no joy for us to deal with. We sort of saw a glimpse of that. And I think Joey Porter's trying to tell us behind the curtain it was even worse than that.
I mean, people will listen to this and hear it as a defense of Ben. I'm not here to defend Ben in any way. I don't really like him. I don't think he ever liked me, if he ever thought of me. It sure seemed that way in our interactions anyway.
Me too.
And the first to admit that he was a jerk younger in his career was him back in 2015. Like, this story broke years ago. Well, it really broke while he was here, real time. But 10 years later, he said I was a bad teammate early in my career. So Joey Porter, if he thinks he's breaking news here, is wrong. And I'm not here to defend Ben the person. But as far as pro sports go, pro football goes, I've talked to enough of these guys where give me a quarterback who's willing to sacrifice his body to the cause, which he indisputably did, and leads us to big wins, which he indisputably did. Not so much in the final decade of his career, but those last two Lombardis. And I know he didn't play well in a Super Bowl, and that's the other reflexive action people take when I say those two Lombardis are there because of Ben. He didn't play well in the Seattle Super Bowl. I know he was terrible, but the 3-game run up to that Super Bowl was one of the great 3-game runs in the same postseason of any quarterback in history. So they don't get there without him. And really, from the football perspective, what else matters? Joey Porter doesn't have a ring without him. Bill Cowher doesn't have a ring without Ben. Mike Tomlin doesn't have a ring without Ben. And there's still only 4 of those things sitting on the South Side. What else matters from the football perspective?
So when you write your book, Morty, who are you going to rip? Are you going to rip Molesey? Are you going to rip Seibel? Are you going to rip Jerry DePaula? Who gets ripped when you decide you want to air your dirty laundry?
Well, Jerry first, for sure. I mean, right? You couldn't ask. He was very cruel to me when I came up. No, I mean, he'd go into the nicest person category. That's a great question. Who would I rip first? I mean, my time with the Penguins.
Cabali? Would you rip Cabali?
He would be in the book for sure. Yeah. I mean, strange but true sports stories. The same guy tears 2 Achilles tendons covering sporting events. How does he do that? How did that happen? Was he just walking around?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who I would rip first. Probably Jim Colony. I think I'd rip Colony.
Yeah, he'd be in the book for sure. I mean, we all have enemies in the business, don't we?
Maybe I'd rip Ben. That seems to get a lot of traction, don't you think? Like, I should rip Ben, and then just everybody will talk about it, and then my book will sell millions.
Well, let's air some dirty laundry right now. Who have been your biggest foils in this business?
Probably Ben. I did not have a very good relationship with Ben at all, which is part of the reason why I felt weird writing the column that I wrote, because I had a really good relationship, I thought, with Porter. I got along really well with Joey Porter. Like,
well, who did have a good relationship with Ben other than Ron Cook? Anybody?
Ron Cook did. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Cookie did. You should rip Ron. There you go. There's your dirty laundry right there.
Yeah, maybe.
What if Ron was still on the show with you? Oh my God. What if he had gone in on Joey Porter if Ron was still on the show with you?
He might have gone after Joey Porter. We might have seen
Pomp. Let's both rip Pomp. I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah. I don't know. Dave Molinari would be in the book. I mean, when you're covering the Penguins beat and the other guy never talks to you, that's always an interesting situation. That was one of my first foils in this business.
Did you ever smooth it over?
God, no. When I went to the Post Gazette in 2016 or whatever it was, I went up into the Penguins press box when I used to go into the Penguins press box and say, well, I guess we're working together, and put out my hand to shake his hand, and I got the limp Steve Peterson biscuit in return. You ever shake Steve Peterson's hand?
Yeah, I was very sincere every time. Hey, how about them, by the way? They lost to Duke, and now they have to play North Carolina on Saturday. How's that going to? Now, they got lucky. North Carolina's best player is out. But what's going on with that team? I mean, like, they're dead men walking right now, it feels like, doesn't it?
Yeah. The thing about the Duke game is it was extra painful because it reminded me of when the place was hopping. You know what I mean? For one night, it felt like old times for a while. They played pretty well for a while, and the joint was, buzzing. It's almost surreal to think back that was the hottest ticket in town and what that place was like on almost a nightly basis. You know what I mean, Tim? Like you could feel it before the games back then. What a time.
Now, not all of it isn't just Pitt. I mean, like this is a college basketball issue top to bottom. Like people don't have familiarity with the players. People don't have familiarity with the conferences. People don't have familiarity with the opponents and the coaches. It's not like the old Big East where Boeheim and Thompson and Rick Pitino came walking out.
It'll never be.
It'll never be like that again. But like, Pitt and Boston College sort of got swept up in the maelstrom of, don't we miss the old Big East, because there were all these threads going out about how few people showed up at the Carrier Dome for their game against Cal the other day, and sort of the dying death of the Syracuse program. They just got rid of their AD or retired, thank God. And now they'll get a new person in there. I just hope it's not Heather. What if it's Heather who steps in? I smelled this one coming a mile away when she walked into that administration. I was like, oh, no, it's going to be her now, and she's going to make it worse.
If it's her, they'll start a new $8 billion project on campus that they can't pay for.
That's right. For a bunch of programs that nobody cares about. Speaking of airing dirty laundry, you think
people do care about women's volleyball? They do care about that. That's a great sport.
It is, but I mean, like, is it driving enough revenue?
No. What is over there?
Not the basketball program at this point. It's not driving results, that's for sure.
Is the football program driving it?
Well, that's the thing. Is like all the ACC schools have sort of been put under this tent of you sacrificed what you had for basketball in the name of chasing football glory that you were never going to attain,
right?
Which we all kind of thought was probable, but those programs couldn't have survived in their economic system if they had tried to stick with the Big East. They just didn't want to be left without a chair. But, I don't know what their basketball programs are like if they stay in the Big East and don't go to the ACC for football.
It was never going to be the same anyway, but there are so many chickens coming home to roost in college sports. There's not a coop in the world big enough to hold them. They sold their souls to coaches a long time ago, and now the players want paid too. And by the way, there was cheating in college sports for decades and decades. John Wooden's program at UCLA, the sugar daddy there was Sam Gilbert, and those guys used to get paid under the table for all kinds of things. And now all these years later, look at the state of college sports. Myself, I don't mind it as much as other people do, Tim. I kind of like the wild, wild west, but people seem to get awfully up in arms over it, and it is kind of hard to follow when every team is totally different from year to year, right?
Yeah, that's the big part of it is, you got familiar with even teams like UConn that would churn and burn freshmen because they were stars and they went right to the NBA.
Right.
At least Calhoun was there and the logo was there, and it meant they've still got a little bit of that because of Hurley. Like Hurley's a throwback old school Big East coach that you love to hate. And the logo has managed to kind of go through a little bit of a lull that they had before Hurley came along. And because there was a departure of some of their brand names from the Big East, there was a little bit of a dip in UConn, but now it's back up there again. And frankly, like Notre Dame's in 7 conferences at once for whatever it wants to be in, for lacrosse or for football part-time or college hockey. So why can't like Syracuse, Pitt, and Boston College be in the Big East for basketball and let them stay in the ACC for football? Because now everybody's so hungry to have big conferences, it almost feels like it could work better that way. And
not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. I mean, it wouldn't work, but it's not a bad idea.
I love that. It wouldn't work, but it's not a bad idea.
Did you see
the ultimate journalist thing to say as opposed to somebody who actually runs a conference at a university? Right.
Did you see the song Sung Blue movie, Tim, about the Neil Diamond tribute band?
No, I didn't, but I'd rather watch that than Wuthering Heights.
You should watch it.
Did you have to read that book, Wuthering Heights, in high school? Or
no,
anything?
We read Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, that's another
Kill
one.
a Mockingbird, 1984, which proved to be Pretty
True.
prophetic. Yeah. That's back when people read books. That nobody reads books anymore. All they read is their phones, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not to sound like old man yelling at cloud, but I think reading books is good. I'm glad.
Margot Robbie is so good. I'm actually thinking about watching Wuthering Heights because I am so infatuated with Margot Robbie. I want to see if she could actually keep my attention with that movie.
What does the title even mean? What is Wuthering and what
I
is
don't know what Wuthering means.
Well, what's
Maybe
the
it's a
title
place.
mean?
Is it a place?
Is it the same as withering? Like it's whittling down? Heights? Like we're
Maybe.
coming down?
Like English to English translation there? Is that where we're going with it?
You know you're in trouble with a book when even the title confuses you, right?
Yes.
What else is going to happen? Did you ever try to read William Faulkner?
No.
Oh
No.
my God. It was like chiseling through steel. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about from literally the first word.
Are there new books like the ones we just rattled through that everybody had to read when they were in high school or middle school that everybody has to read now?
Great question.
I don't know what it is now. I don't know what those books are now.
Yeah. I'll ask my basketball players later. Coaching 9th grade basketball. I'll ask them if there's anything they have to read. I don't even know if
I took my 6-year-old niece to her first basketball game. She's like a little
Yeah.
dribbler at not Canamac, Char Valley, right? So I took her to the 11 a.m. Duquesne women's basketball game, the Education Day game, where
Yeah.
it's 3,100 screaming little kids.
And they won.
I went to the monster trucks with her little brother 2 days earlier. My ears are still ringing from the basketball game. I got over the monster trucks. That's a whole different thing because the kids just cheer whenever the ball goes in. They're not necessarily cheering for a team. They're
Right.
just cheering for baskets, and they're cheering for the music in between timeouts. And they're cheering when the team got to 67 points so they could do the 6-7 thing. Like these are the agendas that the kids had watching the basketball game. And we're sitting courtside, and Amelia, her biggest takeaway was, how come they're mopping the floor? When the girl came out to mop the floor,
Yes.
she was fascinated by that because we sweat in our games and they don't mop the floor for us. I want a floor mopper. That was her big thing. That was her big takeaway from the game.
It's a great job. And it's a little disconcerting when the game is actually going on at the other end and the floor mopper comes out.
Buddy Boeheim used to do that.
He
The
did?
Carrier Dome, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Did you see what happened in the Purdue-Nebraska game where the floor mopper didn't do a good job and the kid wiped out
Yes.
and lost the basketball in like a
Yes.
crucial situation?
Looked like a floor mopping conspiracy theory there.
Yes,
Left the
exactly.
West on the court.
Exactly.
Did you see the guy uphill skiing the other day?
That was unbelievable. Yeah.
What the hell is he doing? How is that a sport?
Well, was it cross country or was that biathlon? What was that part of?
I don't know. I just saw a clip of a guy going up a hill in skiing. I didn't know there was uphill skiing. What are we doing here?
There was the guy from Norway too who announced on international television that he had cheated on his girlfriend. Did you hear? And then tried to propose to her. Did you hear that story?
I like that one. That was great. I mean, what else? What would be in line with uphill skiing?
That looks so hard to me. Like, I'm not a skier at all.
Like
I've tried to
uphill
ski.
diving. You would dive on you would go off a diving board up instead of down. What is happening here? It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
But people seem so fascinated. I bet it is an Olympic sport in the future. Like, you would have to ski jump down the hill and then run back up the hill. That would be the second part of the challenge. So it combines ski jumping and cross country, and whoever could do the total time would win the gold medal.
Right. Well, some of these sports are like, who invented? Do they still have the thing where you cross country ski and then pull out a gun and go target?
Yes, biathlon for sure. That's where the guy. I think the biathlete was the guy who announced that he was cheating on his girlfriend, if I remember correctly.
What kind of idiot invented that sport? How do you mix those two? Let's go cross country skiing and then pull out a gun and shoot.
Well, they should actually try to shoot an elk or something like that moose that walked out on the downhill track the other day.
Let's run a half marathon and then pull out a bow and arrow and go deer hunting and call it an Olympic sport. What a joke that.
Did you see Lindsey Vaughn's pictures from her surgery? Like, she was posting pictures from her, like, you could actually see like the open part of her leg. It was horrifying.
Well, who enters an Olympic competition with a torn ACL? Aren't you kind of asking for trouble at that point?
I think she was kind of asking for it. I think she didn't care, and now she has to decide if she cares. You know what I mean? Like, she 100% knew one of three things was going to happen. She was going to do great and be the hero of all heroes.
Right.
She was going to do poorly and still be treated as a hero because she tried, or this was going to happen. And then everybody was going to feel sorry for her because she tried.
I mean, it was heroic in a way, but yeah,
that's the thing.
I'll go play in the basketball game with a compound fracture of my leg. I mean, it's not going to go well.
Exactly.
You're already in big trouble, right?
You know, and I know a lot of people were kind of like, well, this didn't have anything to do with her ACL. She clipped the gate and that sort of thing. But I also saw somebody who seemed to know what they were talking about saying that that first turn was the hardest turn of the whole thing, and she had to lean into her injured leg. And if she couldn't lean into her injured leg, she was going to clip the gate. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was horrifying to see. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know that was the wisest decision. And she is heroic. Are we getting little chat things? What's happening?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
What just happened to the audio? It says nothing. Did it?
Oh, that was me. Yeah, you popped your audio for a second.
Okay.
That's not a listener. That was me. You're actually now airing our dirty laundry on the
My stomach.
I believe Chris's response is, yeah, Joe popped his audio. He doesn't know what the F he's doing.
Right. I don't. How do you like this? A little Pirates pullover.
Did Marcelo Ozuna give that to you?
I almost had a response there.
Did Kutch give it to you on the way out?
No, I don't think he did.
How was your relationship with Kutch? I never really built much of a relationship with Kutch.
It was okay. You know what? We had a great conversation when he was with the Yankees. It wasn't good or bad here. It was just like he didn't really, I don't know, have time much when I needed it, which was fine. You know, I don't take that personally.
You know, it was great when he came back with the Yankees was Cole this past year.
Really?
Which I did not anticipate, because during his end days with the Pirates, I thought he was pretty much checked out in the Pittsburgh media, but he was fantastic when he came back.
Well, maybe it's the Yankees, because I went the night that Vance McDonald had the stiff arm in Tampa. You remember that, of course.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Well, that day I was doing a 5-year anniversary piece on the wild card game. The Yankees were in town, so that morning I traveled over to Tropicana Field, or whatever the hell that abomination is in Tampa, and there was Neil Walker and Kutch. So I got to interview them on the wild card game, and McCutchen was fabulous on it. He said something like, 5 years later, I still don't have the words to describe it. You remember his mom sang the national anthem? Yeah. It was a phenomenal atmosphere, unlike any I've ever seen. And we probably talked for 20 minutes. So he was great that day. And that's really the last time I think I talked to him. Maybe once since he came back. I don't remember, but that was by far the most notable time.
I'm not upset that it's come to an end. I think that the sort of sunset that he was given was enough.
Yeah.
I know some Pirates fans think he's entitled to go out entirely on his own terms. I don't think he is. I think the Pirates have just as much of a right to say it's over if Kutch doesn't think so, as Kutch has this perceived right to keep playing in Pittsburgh as long as some folks think that he wants to. But you know, I got the argument last year that there was going to be nobody better that they were going to bring in. So why not just have him on the roster? Okay. I mean, if that was the approach and the attitude of the team, which apparently it was, but now they appear to be trying to spend to win a little bit. And at the very least, put some money in the bank and put some money on the books for the lockout that's probably going to come next year, which, let's face it, is the real root as to why they're doing what they're doing. I know that sounds cynical, but cynical and smart can both be the same thing at the same time. And I think that's the case with the Pirates this year.
So do I. And like you wrote the other day, I don't care. As long as they're trying to get better for once, you know, I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, I'll co-sign everything you said about Kutch. It's just time. It's okay. It was an unexpected, fun little 3-year reunion. I don't know if they handled it great. I do think he was owed, at least at the beginning of the offseason, we're moving on. That's what they should have told him, instead of what sounds like they were stringing him along. But I actually get the impression that most fans understand this too. You'll have your, you know, diehard McCutchen backers who are probably upset about he wasn't invited to Pirate Fest or whatever. But by and large, I think people get it. They just want the team to be better, and they see an upgrade here. That's the impression I get.
Real quick, before we get to our Trib treats and our Friday free-for-all, Did you watch the Olympic hockey yesterday at all?
Little bit. I saw Canada, and it looked frightening. Their power play is laughably ridiculous, how good they are. I guess the U.S. looked good, too. I didn't see any of that game. I was otherwise occupied. But the Canada game, they just looked like the juggernaut that they are, right?
Well, the big thing with the American team was, I wrote about today, renowned penguin killer Brock Nelson, who everybody was bitching about being on the team, had the game of his life. Like, he had 2 goals. He was part of 2 goals that got overturned. He hit a crossbar. He was like a force in this game. He couldn't be stopped. And now all of a sudden, it was him and Trocheck, and they both had points in the game that people were complaining about. Why are these guys on the team? And I get it. It was Latvia. But, like Latvia's got 6 NHLers. They got NHL goaltenders. Shilvos, the Penguins goaltender. They've got Merzlikins. So, they've got recognizable guys. So it's not like they're playing against a bunch of jerks. They've got a kid who's going to be a draft choice, a high pick. So, 5-1 against that with him driving the bus, I think was really notable.
Yeah, I noticed.
By the way, he's got 40 points in 46 games against the Penguins.
Yeah.
And 9 playoff points as an Islander.
Well,
Brock Nelson.
him and the Islanders have tortured the Penguins more than anybody in history. Shilovs didn't play. Were they afraid the game would go to a shootout? Is that why he wasn't in the lineup?
Yeah, I guess you can. TJ Oshie, they were going to pull him out of the broadcast booth and put him out there. He's going to score every time against him.
Poor Shilovs. He's actually been pretty good. I think he'll play in the next game. Let's put it that way.
Down the stretch, he was better than Skinner before the Olympic break.
Yeah.
So
I'm ready for Miroshov myself. You?
Yeah, I saw him get roasted. They did a shootout competition in the AHL. Some guy pulled a reverse Michigan, Michigan and sniped it up that way. And Miroshov didn't know what to do with it. It was an unbelievable goal that they had during their all-star skills competition.
I'm ready for him to be the Penguins goalie. What's next? Trib treats?
Trib treats. I already did mine. Mine was the mop kid at Nebraska who screwed up mopping and then lost the game for Nebraska as a result because the Nebraska kid spilled out in front of the Purdue bench and lost the ball. So what's yours? Mine
is weightlifting and how it's helped me and how I hate it and how there's a little kettlebell in here. Do you work out right now, Tim? Do you work out daily?
Not daily, as much as I can. I use kettlebells. I've been really encouraged to use kettlebells since my knee injury. So, yeah, I use kettlebells. Great.
So I use them. However, I stubbed my toe on this thing this morning. I walked in here in a hurry, as I always am, and stubbed my toe on the kettlebell. And is there an act in life that results in a more automatic, reflexive, worst-case swear word than stubbing your toe? Is there, Tim? Anyway.
Yes. Shutting your fingers into the kitchen drawer, which I did yesterday.
When's the last time you got a paper cut? It's been years for me. I'm so fearful of them that, like, when I reach into my work bag, you have a fresh one?
I have a fresh one, yeah. When I do play-by-play, I use old-fashioned oak tag folders and staple all the information onto it so I can have quick access for it.
Yeah.
Reached into the bag. Good one right down here, right down the cuticle.
I am so careful about that. I think it's been over a decade without a paper cut, which I'm quite proud of, I might add.
And this one's because I bite my nails too much. So
I bite mine too. As a way to manage anxiety, I bite my nails and I burst into spontaneous, nonsensical lyrics.
Yeah, you haven't done that yet here on the Beyond the Bylines show.
No.
I'm wondering, when is that coming, do we expect?
Maybe by the end of the show. Why does it
take a song about Brock Nelson?
Nelly, they call him. I don't know. My stomach hurts, Tim. What am I going to do here? I'm going to have to take a walk.
My Friday free-for-all, Joe, was inspired by you listening to your show yesterday when you started talking about Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, my God, what a game.
Well, you were talking about that, and I'm like, is he talking about Glass Joe, the first guy from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? And you were, Glass Joe.
Yeah, Glass Joe. We used to beat the hell out of him. Did he ever win a fight? He was like the Washington Generals.
Didn't he come back at the end or something like that? There was a good version of Glass Joe.
Yeah, Glass Joe on steroids came back later in the game.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was a great game. I love Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. You could not make that game now, though, because all the opponents were sort of politically incorrect, two-dimensional people from other
Yeah.
countries. Did you notice that? Like,
I did.
Piston Honda was from Japan.
Yeah, we might not even be able to say their names. Yeah.
Don Flamenco was like a flamenco dancer.
Yes.
Who else? Great Tiger. They were fat shaming with King Hippo. You punched him once in the big tummy, and then you punched him in the nose every time thereafter. Like, everybody was a politically incorrect two-dimensional figure, which, like, nowadays in the 80s, I know what they were doing. There's very 80s thinking. Like, we want to broaden this out so more people will be interested. We want to make more. We don't want it to be all white guys and black guys. We want to make this an international thing. So let's do this. But it was as stereotypical and like low-hanging fruit of every nationality and every person you could think of on the way up the ladder to fight Mike Tyson.
I think I played it for 10 hours at a time. And I've been telling people lately, the way the world is going, I just wanted to numb myself. Like every day, all day, I would use this television over here and get re-addicted to video games and just sit here and play until I died. I have to go, Tim.
You have to go?
Yeah.
You have to go like you got to go?
I've got to go.
More blowouts than the 2007 Patriots?
Than the 1960 World Series.
Is that your Trib treat? Joe's stomach irregularities? Is your Friday footnote or whatever it is? Your Friday free-for-all is about to what happened with your bowels? Is that what's going to take place
Well,
here?
It's not necessarily that. It's just overall troubles. I have to move. I have to do something. Perhaps take some medication. I don't know what went wrong. I had potato chips before bed, and they seem to be haunting me.
All right, Joe. We'll do it again next week. People telling us Ben sucks. What a loser. Nobody cares about Pitt basketball. Somebody liked the Monster Jam.
I'm glad the show went over well today.
Yeah. People want to know when your next weightlifting demonstration is going to be. People want to know when you're going to stub your toe. For all of us, you should walk around and try to stub your toe. So you didn't drop it on your toe. So you did something right there.
Can I go, please? I asked you 5 minutes ago. Why are you torturing me?
I just want, because last week you tortured me and carried it out for as long as possible, but I didn't have to run to the bathroom. So go ahead, Joe. We'll do it again next week.
Goodbye, Tim.
Gary Burrito is the one that says goodbye on the way out.